Hello everyone, I'm Prawoto and I would like to share with you some of the which I think it is interesting. It's part of the introduction to visual ethnography, and my presentation will be about rural traditional market. Maybe it's more about the cultural windows, so I will share with you some of the maybe hopefully new experience for you all. It's the setting is more in rural area. So I'm Prawoto. Actually, I'm an architect and also a lecturer in Tutawacana Christian University as a teaching staff in Faculty of Architecture and Design. In the last 6 or almost 7 years now, I moved to a rural area and I start to learn about the new reality, which most of my life I spent it in an urban area. But since 6 years ago, I become a villager and I learn about the rural life. And my presentation maybe is not very academic, so to say, because it's based more on the experience that I see, and I meet people, I visited market and talked to many people, which I will share with you. And it's more also about self-reflection. Visual ethnography. To be honest with you, I don't know so much about it, but maybe it's how to explain or to share, how to learn through visual things, which in my case it's about rural market, and it's more sharing with you visual. And mainly I will talk about rural market, but it is more than just market because as far as I understand, it's a very complex reality. It's a complex system of activities, and it's also multi-layers, which I try to share it with you. So my presentation maybe will be structured into some point, which I will give a cultural background, and maybe later to present how to explain about the market as different of various meaning, like a social hub or exchange, and as a meeting point. And every market actually is a unique place, so I will show some of the market around my village, and also about the people. So we will meet some of the interesting figures in the market, and also about market as a social weaving, and also some of the individuals with, I think, interesting to be focused on, about how they already live in the market for quite some times, and also some event that we will see during a special event, and also now the impact of modernization, and then reflection. That's more or less the outline of my presentation. So market, usually we saw market as a place for exchange or for buying and selling. So it's more about the commodity. But it seems to me that market, especially a traditional market in the village or rural market, it has more complex layers, not just about economic transaction, but it's about many other things. First, I will explain about the context, the agrarian culture, which is in rural area. We are very much still living in a agrarian culture. Agrarian culture is a culture which maybe it's dominated with the spirit of togetherness, very strong relationship socially among the people. Agrarian culture is based on the strong connection with the nature. So we consider nature as our mother. So the relationship of the whole life, it's very nature centered, so to say. So it's more about the farmer, but it's the whole system and knowledge how we build the culture gradually. So if we talk about agrarian culture in Indonesia, so it has been more than 2,000 years. So it has a lot of layers. The knowledge about the ecology, climate, season, the water system, and the character of the nature and the soil, and also the vegetation or the plant, the crops. It's part of that culture, and also how we cultivate the land itself. It's a knowledge which is already deeply rooted and embedded to the value of almost of the people. We could see from this relief long time ago. So the relationships between the land, the climate, the water system, the contour, and the animals or the plant, it's already have been living since then up to now, I think. So if we talk about the culture, actually is the whole set of knowledge and also the value which is embedded in the life of the people. So we believe in the harmony of the nature and also with other life. So it is showed in the Gunungan, in the Wayang, for instance, showing the harmony between the tree, the forest, the animals. And we also have two main characters, the giants and the Kshatriya. The giants have a big eyes, big mouth, a greedy character, while the Kshatriya is more gentle and not rough or something. Those two characters are actually part of ourselves. So there are two characters, the giant and the Kshatriya, in everybody. So it's very much depend on how we use that character. This is part of how we think about the human behavior or human values, and in which direction that we should walk in our daily life. Agrarian culture is a collective culture because we cannot do it alone. So we need the help of our friends or our neighbors or our families to do that kind of very extensive work, and that value form the character, I think. most of the village people, they are believe in collective living. It's not like in an urban area, which is people live more in individual way of life, but in a village area, in a rural area, we are very, very much live in a collective living or collective values. The relationship between the nature and between the people and between the spirit is very strong, and we are supposed not to cut that kind of relationships. So in daily life, time, water, and also wind, it's always like continuing. We're not supposed to cut the relationship. So we have a very strong connection with the past, and also with the surrounding, and with the people, even with the spirit. So as a Javanese, we have to maintain that kind of relationship and the spirit of togetherness. Now we will visit the traditional market, which I think it's more than just a place for transaction, but it's the generator of the social life. Market in Java, in this area around Yogyakarta, it's based on 5 days cycle. The market is not open every day, but every 5 days. For instance, the market which open on the Kliwon, for instance, and or Legi or Paing or Pon. This is the name of a 5 days cycle. And you can see that on that day, people from the surrounding village, they go to the market with a different kind of purpose or intention. Maybe the transportation is not that available, but they can use anything to go to the market. So this women actually is not from home, but they already from the market, so they went back to their own village. But we can imagine that the way they go and the way they go back, it's more or less the same. And here is the rural market, so we can get almost everything what we need, and everything is displayed in a organic or expressive way. And sometimes the structure of the market is too small. So they just put it in the front yard or in the backyard of the market. So the market is always like open plan, and it's overflow also, and occupying the space which is available. And only in that particular day the market is open, and the rest of the day usually is empty. Or maybe just 1 or 2 merchant is open, but mostly they are closed. So it will open again in the next 5 days. That's the system. And market is, as I said before, is more than just economic hub, but it's also a social hub, or a place for social exchange, for social event, and even more. As the economic aspect, we could see that in front of traditional market, usually there is a big, how to say, big well, not collector, but he or she is a merchant who buy almost everything from the villagers. So the villagers came from their home bringing the crops. It could be anything, rice, maybe what else, cassava, or cacao, or coffee beans, or chili, or it could be anything, and they bring bag or pocket, and that they come to this to the people, and they sell it. These people buy almost everything, and from the crops that they sell, they get money. So we can see this is the people who buy almost everything, and they give money to the villagers, and then the villagers, we can see every morning they buy a lot of things, and so various, and some of them are seasonals, like cloves or vanilla beans, but in general they have almost everything, like even like corn or coffee beans or rice or many other things. From the money that they get from selling those things, they go inside the market and try to find what they need, or maybe doing haircut or something like this. So various kind of services, and also something to buy, and also another things that they could enjoy in the market. Maybe they redo the clothes. They can give it to this lady, and to make the clothes is maybe now it's already very too tight, and they make it like a slightly bigger or something like that. These two ladies are tailor, but usually they don't make shirt or dress from the cloth, but it's more like a repairing clothes with is brought by the customer from the village. You can see many activities happening in the market. So it's like this: a father feeding, maybe grandfather feeding their granddaughter in the market, or just some guys like sitting together chatting, or it's like a social event which is happening in the market, or a mother taking care of her beloved son. She can do it while she is waiting for the stuff that she sells, and she still have time to be as a mother and doing something for her son, for instance. Or this young lady learning about chicken. They can buy something as a pet, so to make attractive, the sellers give a very attractive color. I don't know whether the chicken is happy or not, but this is the children is like it very much to buy that toy. Although myself is sometimes feel very upset about this thing, because I believe that animal is actually it's not toy, but you can, it's different perception and different opportunity. So this lady sells the chicken as a toy. or it's a kind of family gathering or family recreation. They go to the market together and sitting, waiting other friend. Or it is quite normal scenery which we could find in village market. Market we can see also as a place for training, where a father finding tools for cultivating the land. So usually he also bring the son, and since the very beginning, a child in the village is already exposed in this kind of activities. So market became a place that he could learn about the real life for the future. So he knows about many things and meet a lot of peoples, which is different from the neighborhood that he lives in a village. But in the market, it's really very joyful moment, I think, because he could learn a lot of things. Like these kids, he accompanying his mother. His mother is working, and he, especially in this pandemic time, I think, well, the kids that did not go to school, so no other place to go, so they just he just following his mother in the market to spend the days instead of going to the school. And market is a place for learning, also a place for training. Maybe we could see this young lady in the red dress. She will be boss maybe in the future, and since a very young age, so she learned about doing business in the market. It is not about maybe in this stage it's not only about the economy, but she managed to see and to learn from the surrounding, from the activities of the people, and the way how the banana in this case is brought and distributed. It's a kind of interesting event, I think, and I believe that she learned a lot in this experience. I like this picture very much because you could see how this young man feels very, very proud with his new hairstyle, and also the barber also looks very satisfying with the new haircut for these kids, I think. It's a very popular place actually for the men since the very beginning. So barbers is more dominated by the male, or even still very young kids, I think. But yeah, this is a learning about the life of the people, which I believe it will prepare a lot of things for his future. And also sometimes market is a place for meeting friends. These two farmers from the different villages meeting in that particular place, sharing something, talk for quite some times. He is not buying or selling something, but it's more about meeting friends and it happened in the market. So market is also a very popular, very interesting social space, I believe. Yeah. Well, of course, market is also a meeting point in the sense that a place for selling and buying. Usually, we sell something from our farmland, so from the garden that we get, and then selling, and we buy something that we don't produce in the village. So it's a place for buying something. Clothes is a basic need. So except of something to eat, clothes is also main commodity in the market. All this kind of household utensils, stove or water container, or a place to make how to say to crush the while you are cooking something, so you need a lot of spices, and you need like a stone dish to crush the spices. This thing is from other place actually, and this woman bring it from other place and sell it in this market. Vegetables in my area, it's a lowland and a bit hot, so vegetables is not available. So the vegetables come from other area or nearby village which has a higher altitude. Spices is local. It is from my area. Many different kind of spices it's available here. Well, plastic things is from outside, and yeah, we could see that the seller from other places also walking around in the market, try to sell the stuff that he bring. Tools is also very important. Some of them are not produced here, but maybe from the neighboring village. So he sells kitchen utensils, knife, and many other things. In our area, it's more close to the mountain, so it's a little bit far from the sea. A salty fish is brought from the north coast, so he came here to sell as one of the important source of protein, and it's a very popular food to buy, I think, because it's not produced or available locally, but it's brought by this man from other city. Salty fish. And yeah, toys and everything is, I think, is also from other cities. And batik or clothes is very popular, but it seems it's not produced here. These women bring from other cities, maybe from the cities of Yogyakarta or from the cities of Solo, and she knows a lot of things about clothes, clothes for rituals or clothes for ordinary use and everything. It's very interesting because she opened a kind of small kiosk or shops with a lot of clothes, batik clothes, cheap batik clothes or expensive batik clothes is always available here. If you see every market, it seems that they are very unique. So I visited regularly market around my place, and it's always I see the different things. Maybe the size of the market is sometimes only very small, only few merchants or sellers, but sometimes the market is also very big and a little bit like modern, and sometimes it's still very traditional with the old-fashioned way of selling things and different commodities, and of course different person. Like this market, not really a market, usually just like an open space, open place. It's like a open field. They just make a temporary tent and they can sell it like this. It's more like a spontaneous market. And some market, it's just, still very traditional, small, like a tiny. They have like a tiny hut like this, and they just put the stuff on top of it. Just very simple way of displaying things. And this is yeah, it's clothes. The display is also very spontaneous, just on the floor or hanging around this the column or the beam and everything. It's not really designed. It's just very spontaneous. Some market is already modernized with a concrete structure. Some still remain as the former condition, bamboo structure with a tin roof or some plastic roofing hanging, like a very simple shelter. This is one of example market which is already modernized, using concrete structure. It's more clean and more how to say neat and regulated. Yeah, this is part of already modern, slightly modernized with painted with the ceramic tiles, easy to clean, and people is also more comfortable with a different height. So the transaction or the activities could be more comfortable. There are other, which I call it like a specialized market. In this case, this is the bicycle market, old bicycle market, second-hand bicycle. It's also very, bicycle is very popular for rural area, and still considered as a precious things to have, I think. So, and other specialized market is like chicken or duck or swan or market is considered as a specialized market. And some markets also sells goat or sheep only, or other specialized stuff in this market. Like this one is also a place for repairing clothes. Now I would like to bring you to meet the people, because I believe that the market is also depend on the people, the person, It's not about the event, but the event is generated by the existence of the person. In some of the market, I met a lot of interesting people. This Pak Suradi, so he has been selling the agriculture tools for quite some time. So he knows about almost everything. So I like to sit next to him and talk a lot of things about what kind of tools and where it come from and who made it and who buy it or who use it. So it's a kind of a knowledgeable person, which I think very interesting to meet. I think. He and his friends have a lot of customers, and it's not only selling, but he also accept like changing the handles or repairing the tools and everything. So sometimes an old farmer came in and he want to change his tools because he already getting older and older, and he feels that the tool is too heavy for him, and he want to exchange it for the lighter one. And yeah, you can do that. So you can receive that old tools, and then he give a lighter knife or lighter tools, for instance, that it's more suitable for him. So this kind of communication and also transaction, it's possible. And this famous blacksmith, metalsmith, his name is Pak Bonimin, but he passed away actually. And this photo I took maybe 3 years ago. So he's opened his business in the market, in the corner of one of the market in near my place. So he could repair shovels or knife to make it sharper or make it usually make it sharper or smoother. So use a very simple traditional tools with hand blowers, and he can he's assisted by his son Marwan. And after he passed away, now Marwan is in charge in continuing the business of his father. Now he opened in 2 market, I think, in Pasar Dekso and also in Nanggulan. So he is continuing the business in a good way, I think. This is the tools for the blacksmith. This is also one of the interesting figures. His name is Sis. He's agriculture tools seller, but he's more as a seller, I think, because he, in a way, he receives the feedback from the buyer or the user, and then he could modify the design, and he make even his own design and give it to the metalsmith. So the metalsmith received the order from Sis based on his experience, his feedback, and how he make a kind of almost new design or slightly refined design, and he sell it to the customer. So it's interesting kind of relationship between selling and have feedback and then improve it and then produce it. So he cis have a very special role in this kind of business. Yeah, this is what he sells. All agriculture tools. The other figure is Pungatinam. Pungatinam is selling grass, grass for weaving. So people will buy it and then to make a mat by weaving those grass. There are two kind of material for weaving. One is grass, and the second is pandan leaf. So you split the pandan and then sell it in the market. This one another seller, and people from other villages bought a bunch of this grass and bring it home, like this lady. She is a weaver, so she bought a bunch of grass, and there's another weaver, and she made mattress out of that grass. And then she go back to the market and sell it the mattress that she produced. So there are many old women in this area. They went to the market, brought pandan or grass, and then bring it home, and then she weave it. And after they finish, they bring it back to the market and sell it either to the customer directly, or to the grass seller, or to the people who bought this mattress and then resell it again. Like this lady, she bought the mattress from everybody, and then she sell it again in other market. Yeah, this is very nice pandan mattress. People use it for to cover the floor, to sit, or to cover the bed or other purposes. Yeah, this is one corner showing the mattress seller. So mattress is very popular in my area, in the area of Kulon Progo, which is because the farmland is the water system is not so good, so we could only plant maybe twice a year. So for the villagers, they have plenty of time because they are not going to the rice field, so they spend the time to produce this kind of weaving mattress. It's very beautiful. This is one of a person that I know, Budaroji. Her name is Budaroji. So he used pandan instead of grass. So he bought of pandan, and then she weave it to make a wallet. I think she's the only one in the village who still able to make a traditional wallet. And it's a pity that most of the weavers is already very old. Budaroji, maybe she already 80 years old, and I don't know with what happened with her knowledge, whether she able to pass it to the next generation or it will stop only until her. She told me that she already begins to learn to weave at a very young age. So maybe around 12 or something, she already able to make this kind of weaving product. She make up like a very beautiful pandan wallet. And the other interesting person is Pak Gino. Pak Gino is already passed away 3 years ago also. And what beside he sells agriculture tools, but he has a very special knowledge. He able to produce a very nice handle for axe for carpenters. So this is the carpenter axe handle made of wood and then wrapped with leather, and he weave it very, very nicely. So it becomes something like this. So this is like a special skill, and he continuing this skill from his father back then, a few years ago. But again, now this kind of tools is not very popular anymore. Only old carpenter still use it, and the young carpenters prefer use power tools now. Yeah. The other figure is Pak Legio. Pak Legio is a barber. So he told me that he has been in this practice since the early years of this market in Pasar Dekso. So maybe it's more than 40 years, I think, he has been become a barber. This is the only job, I think, for him. So he has a lot of customer, and his corner is more than just a barber shop, but it's a place for hanging around to meet, to talk, and he also knows every customers that he has. So it's more like a meeting old friends and talking and chatting, and yeah, it's a very nice moment, I think. Well, he's a young customer, of course, accompanied by his mother, of course. Other important figures, I forgot his name actually, but he is the tea man. So he sells tea for most of the merchants in the area of the market. So he serves tea for almost everybody. So he brings the tea, and after a few hours he will bring the kettle with the hot water, and he refilled the customer. It's a very interesting profession, I think. So he's only sells tea. Sometimes coffee with milk. So he's just walking around and giving that tea to the customer. It's very interesting profession, and you can see this is it's just put in the corner of the customer, and later after the market is over, he got the money from the customer. It's very, very interesting profession, I think. This is also very impressive. Pak Arjo. Pak Arjo is selling tools, carpenter tools and agriculture tools, but he's so stylish, I think, with a scarf, with jacket, and wearing hat, I think. And he has been in his business also quite long time. And what impressed me is Pak Arjo is always looks stylish. It's very dandy, so to say. This one is Bumitro. She is selling herbal drink, but she almost like almost like a doctor. So if someone said that I have problem with the stomach or coughing or feel very tired or something, and then she could mix different kind of herbal spices and then put it in a glass, and the customer will drink directly. And yeah, this is the rural herbalist, which I think is very, very special in the market. This one is also very impressive figure, Pu Sinam. She has been in the banana business for more than 50 years. She started at the very early years, maybe in her teenagers. Now she's 70s. Yeah, she's banana lady, I call it, and almost she bought from the villagers and put it in the small truck and then brought to other market. So it's quite a big business, and it's amazing how she could run this kind of business for quite long time, more than 50 years. I think it's amazing. She do it every day, every market day, and she do it by herself with two other or three other friends, I think, sharing for the transportation and to go to the different market after this market. Market is also a social weaving, I think. It's a connection. It's not only for, it's only for selling, but there's a network of the producers as well. They connect different villages, they connect different sellers, different buyers from many different places. Like this one is Pak Pur. Pak Pur is also blacksmith, and by working in this market, he create also a place for gathering while waiting, people talking and chatting. So it's more like a transaction place, but it's more like a social place because people can talk each other and while waiting. It's very interesting place. Sometimes I also join just to sit next to someone, and then we start to make a very interesting conversation. This man, I forgot his name, but he's not from this area. His name a bit far away from other place, other village near Borobudur temple, and he came to sell this woven bamboo, use it for many different purposes. So he used his motorcycle and then sell it here. So he connect different villages or different places to sell this the product, the bamboo weaving. So there are many people who come to the village to sell something. So maybe she made something like a fried fish, or the lady on the right side she made a coconut grater, and they sell it in this market. Yeah. So market is also a place for the individuals who has some skills. So they come to this market to yeah, to find a fortune, the opportunity to sell the product that that they have. The other important thing is a coconut. Coconut is a kind of a big business. So people come from different places, bringing coconut, and then this buyer will buy almost as many as a coconut that you have, and later they will bring it to the coconut oil factory. So they buy from people from different places, and then they later they will transport it to the factory. Among those people, I'm like to observe the uniqueness of the people, and I call it, this is someone who walk in a narrow pathway. It is very unique how he or she, in a passionate way, try to live his or her destiny in a very loyal, passionate way. I think this is very, very interesting as a human being, I think. Like this lady, she sells tobacco. Actually, she knows different kind of tobacco, and her customer mostly people, a smoker, of course, and who use tobacco, and not the cigars from the factory, but it's someone buy the tobacco and will roll it manually by hand, and someone will use it for smoking. Yeah, I don't know. She how long she has been in his business, but in her business. But yeah, it's she looks very, very passionate in this tobacco selling business. This Pak Joyo is very interesting. He is a farmer, but beside working in the rice field as his free time, he also an artist. He made wayang, or puppet figures, from cardboard. So it's very, very interesting. He told me that he do it by himself as a autodidact artist, and he learned from only from the performance and from the book, I think, and he tried to produce it himself, and he's been in this business for quite some years. And actually, it's more like his passion, because sometimes I just watch him for quite a long time, and it seems that he doesn't sell a lot, but he liked to do this. It's part of his love with wayang puppet, and I'm thinking that he is the guardian of the culture in the village area, because no one take care of him as an artist, and he lived a very simple life. So he just bring all the stuff to the market, displayed around his bicycle, and if it's no one buy it, then he just take everything off and then go back again. So it's And he kept doing this for some years. This lady is selling spices, actually, mostly spices. Of course, there are other things, but spices is very, very unique. She knows if we mention about only like one dish, and she knows what we need. So she will arrange and then a kind of different kind of spices into one package. I don't know when this profession could last, because now it's part of the modernization. People start already putting it in a package, small package, and also even the spices which is prepared from the big factory in the city. So if you want to cook something, you just mix the spices. This spices is already it's very easy to use, and it means that the people will not know anymore about the spices or the ingredient. To just use it from the spices which is already mixed from the factory. Yeah, this I forgot his name. Maybe he's I forgot, because he moved from market to market, so he make this toys. How to say, the small windmill. He made it by himself and then selling in a different market. It's also very, very interesting. And this lady, she only sells one commodity, which is peanut, steamed peanut. So she has been selling this for quite some years. We could see that the stuff that she sells is not so much in terms of money, but she kept doing this for quite some time. It's also very interesting and even very touching, I think, how she's very loyal to the profession. So I think that the profession is not about money only. It's about identity. So she keep doing this because by this profession, she could have a certain identity, and she is very proud with the profession. Although maybe the money that she earns is not so much. Market to me is more than just economic activities. It's more than just transaction, I think. But it's also a meeting place, a place to hang around, waiting, exchange knowledge, and learning place. Of course, there's also a kind of selling things, but it's not. But it's more about services, about the. So she could. He maybe more as a tailor, but he could also as a fashion consultant or something like that. So it's more than just economic activities. Again, it's maybe the similar with the peanut lady. So it's more about identity, about holding the profession, about it's how the um, to keep the meaning of life. It's more just selling things, I think, because you could see this thing is not, in terms of money, it's not so much money that she could get, she could earn, but it just is about the meaning of life, I think, the identity, which also very important. Also this banana lady, some of banana is come from her garden, but the rest maybe she sell it from the neighbor, and it's not so much, but it's that's life, I think. Life is more than just economy. Yeah. This is very impressive ladies heading home from the market, and she already bought so many things, maybe for to sell it again, or maybe her neighbors also asked her to buy something for them. So it's a very powerful lady. I always meet this kind of women who able to do many things with a very simple vehicle. It's almost acrobatic, and that's showing how powerful village woman, I think. There's a special day in during the year, especially the Ramadan, or before the Ramadan, or around the Ramadan. I think it's a very interesting. The market become very, very busy because people want to celebrate it. Especially they buy kupat. It's a weaving from the coconut leaves, and they fill it with rice and then steam it. And it's a special rice or special food for the Ramadan. You can see it is sells in the market. And Ramadan is also means new clothes. You could see people are very enthusiastic in buying new clothes, especially women. With this is almost like a fashion week or rural fashion week, because people try to buy new clothes for everybody. It's very, very interesting, very impressive, like this. It's like a sale in a supermarket or in a shopping mall, but this is just a rural market. But that has the same spirit. All the women are very enthusiastic in buying new clothes. Or cookies. Yeah, this time it's cookies. Some of them are produced in the village, some of them are from the big company, from the big factory. This only happen around the special days, around Ramadan or New Head, something like this. This is also very specific during Ramadan. People like to buy a new hat for everybody. And rural area is not a static situation. Now modernization is also penetrating the village area, the rural area, even more and more intense. Now the transformation is going on. I don't know if it is in a good sense or in a bad sense, but I try not to justify this, but just showing that something is happening. I mean, the plastic is everywhere. Before we use more organic things to wrap things, like plastic leaves or banana leaves or other leaves, but now it seems that plastic is wrapping everything, or even other thing is also made of plastic. Container or pail or basket or or even this kind of, usually it used to be the woven bamboo, but now they replace it with plastic. So plastic is everywhere. I don't know, maybe it's a cost of modernization, or even the expression of the modernization, maybe. And well, we also share the global culture, of course. It's everywhere now, and the commodity is made of somewhere far away, maybe the city, or even in from abroad. We never know, but this stuff is now available in the market, in the village market. Is everywhere. And toys, of course, and yeah, toys is a kind of, or the kids is a kind of the entry point for the big transformation in the future. So it's everywhere now. Before, we have toys which is produced or made by the local producers, so to say, or in neighboring city. I don't know whether it will survive or not, or it's part of a life that we are facing now. The modernization, it means also transformation, or changing, or challenging, or even cultural clash, which what will happen in the future, we never know. Or maybe the best way is try to negotiate, try to compromise, try to combine between something traditional with something more modern. So of course it's made of, part of them are made by plastic, of course, or rubber, or part of the big industry. Yeah, this is the way how the village people deal with the modernization. They accept it, or they negotiate it, they adopt it, they try to confront it. This is kind of a dynamic life. But which I like is that the rural life, it has a life force which is, I feel very, very amazed sometimes. The creativity, how to find the appropriate or the proper solution of a certain problems, they are very, very close to the life. That's why this kind of solutions is, for me, it's quite genius. It's so the village people, they know how to deal with the problem of their life, and their adaptability, or their creativity, how to use the available resources. They could use it in a different way, which I think is very, very impressive. So they try to find the solutions for their problem, maybe not with the consideration about the aesthetic, but it's about how to give a solution of a certain problem, which is, I think, is quite impressive. So they're able to give answer to the problem that life gave it to them. Their ability to adopt and to adapt and to negotiate, I believe that it will be a kind of a means or the potential for the cultural survival in the future. Sometimes the solution is beyond our grasp, our wildest thinking. So, but this type of solution is always there. That somehow make me have a very strong sense of optimism for the village or for the rural life. Their creativity is amazing. Well, I would like to close my presentation with a kind of reflection that after all we are human beings. So maybe we live in a different place, in a different condition, in a better situation or maybe in the worst situation. But there's something that we could feel that there are similarities. We are part of them. We are not different with them. So as a kids with activities of playing wherever the place. So the market could be also a playground for the kids, or the transportation. The transportation is just tools or a vehicle. It doesn't matter what kind of vehicles. What is important that it could be functional. Comfort maybe not so much, aesthetic maybe not so much, but the functionality or the workability is there. And following the fashion is not only for urban people, but we also have the opportunity to enjoy the latest the latest fashion, or to change the color of your hair. Why not? It's also happening everywhere. And the creativity, how to attract, how to display nicely, it's also part of our human nature, I think. People like to make something looks attractive, looks maybe more beautiful, so to say. Or make friends, learning. It could be part of also of our humanity. Find some information, sharing information, and always open mind, learning. It's part of our life wherever we are. Reading is not. It doesn't mean all should be in the library, but it could be also in the market. And how we handle something that we love, or something that we appreciate, or we take care of things. And chickens could be our precious things, and we carry it nicely. Family is a big thing, so we go together with maybe with a limited resources what we have, but family is number one. Family is very important, so we enjoy it together. We go to the market together. We buy something together, and we go home together, and it is a very touching moment, I think. After all, yeah, this is the same with us. Take care of the kids. Yeah, this is very, very, very human. Yeah. Try to find the uniqueness. Try to find identity. How to be more like promotive, to sell something more attractive. Yeah, we can do many things. And this man is selling shrimp or prawn, and he uses a special costume. Very, very nice. So distinguishable. So he only he used like by simple means to create identity. I don't know what's the relationship between the bear head and the prawn or the shrimp. Maybe only he knows. Well, during the pandemic, we have to wear mask. Everybody, even in the market. But mask could be different, could give a different taste, different sense of fashion. So this is also very interesting to me. And this man is very, very interesting. So he came, if I met him in the market only once during the pandemic. It seems that he does not sell anything. He just went to the market and gave a short performance, short speech, so to say, or short campaign to remind us to be aware about the COVID-19. So he used his personal activities. He does not belong to any group, or he is not a government officer. He just going from the market to market, and then giving some tips and how to protect us from the COVID-19. This is also amazing person, I think. Okay, that's what I could share about rural market. Hopefully it could be very inspiring, or at least you know more about the dynamic, what is happening in the village. Village is it has different culture compared to the urban culture, but it has also similarities. There is a problem which is happening, but there is also possible solution which is maybe unique for the village. So the village now is in a transition. You could see from the market there is so much dynamic inside, and hopefully we could learn, or we could see something, or we could reflect something which at the end it will enrich our life as a human being. Thank you very much for your time. Yeah.